SSDI, and a $2,000 fourth stimulus check update specifically focused on Social Security disability beneficiaries. So for the millions of you out there receiving SSDI benefits administered by Social Security, here's your dedicated video. I've had a bunch of comments rolling in over the last couple months here from many people here in this community saying, I get SSDI, they've forgotten about us again, we're not going to get this, we're not eligible, we don't file a tax return, we don't have an income, we're not working, we're not going to be getting this. And I wanted to come back in this dedicated video and set the record straight on this $2,000 that the president floated back at the beginning of November and that I've talked about extensively over the last couple months here as the president has been out multiple times talking about this $2,000. Many different lawmakers and many people within the administration have also been out talking about this $2,000, and I wanted to come back and talk about it here in this dedicated video. Now, I've also had other videos out where I've been specifically talking about, say, Social Security as a whole, SSI beneficiaries, and other groups of people out there. And again, I see many of the common questions down below. And in some of those comments, I've been responding to them and saying, hey, just stand by. I'm going to make you a dedicated video talking about this because there's so many people out there that are very, very concerned about being left out on this. Let me set the record straight on this. All right. Now, I always like to preface these types of videos by saying, if this happens in the first place, okay? As of right now, we don't even know if this is a done deal, as in if they're for surely going to do this in the first place. But if they do this, as in if the president gets what he wants, which is the distribution of this $2,000 in the form of a dividend, a stimulus, a distribution, a rebate, and again, don't worry about the name of it. The name does not matter whatsoever. Anyway, let's talk about it. Okay, as an SSDI beneficiary, are they going to just completely forget about you and leave you out on this? The answer on that is no. Not a chance, okay? They're not just going to come forward and leave out specific groups of people. That's not how these things work. Remember, I've said this so many times over the last several months in many different dedicated videos, which is, what is the number one factor that they look at to determine someone's eligibility? Is it where they live in the country? Nope. Is it somebody's age? Nope. Is it whether you are disabled or able-bodied? Nope. Is it whether you are working or not? No. Is it whether you file a tax return or not? No. What do they look at? Your income. That's it. Your income. The only thing they look at is your income. Now, of course, as always, I'll get some rebuttal on that saying, but how do they know what my income is? They know everything about you. As an SSDI beneficiary, Social Security supplies and they furnish the IRS with your income records every single year. Just like every single year, you also get an SSA 1099, or if you're living out of the country, you get an SSA 1042S, your official tax documentation. Well, guess what? Social Security also supplies and furnishes the IRS with that same information. In other words, they know right down to the penny exactly how much you've been paid by Social Security every single year. So they know that about you, okay? Whether you file a tax return or not, they already know what your income is. They already know, okay? Which, by the way, quick side note, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your accountant. Talk to your own professional. I don't know your exact situation. This video is general information here, okay? But my point being is this. All they ever look at to determine someone's eligibility for these distribution, stimulus, economic impact payments, whatever you want to call it, the only factor they ever look at is your income, okay? And I said, again, I've said this many, many times. I probably sound like a broken record because I say it all the time, and this is the fact. Think back to 2020 and 2021 when they distributed 3 stimulus checks. I'm just going to use this as an example. What was the number one determining factor for somebody's eligibility? Their income. That was literally all it was. If your income is below the thresholds that they put in place, they said you would get it, which is why 85% of the population got those payments back, 6 years ago now, or whatever it is now, okay? My point being is that that's the factor that they look at. They put an income threshold in place, and again, we've had a little bit of remarks on as far as what this would likely be, but we don't have all of this in writing and it all solidified quite yet. but the Treasury Secretary a couple months ago indicated likely income under $100,000 as an individual. I think it's going to be less than that. That's my opinion on that, but we'll see about that. Anyway, generally it's about 75 grand a year as an individual and about 150 grand a year as a married couple. As an SSDI beneficiary, is your income below $75,000 a year as an individual and $150,000 a year as a married couple? The answer is yeah, it has to be, right? As an SSDI beneficiary, you cannot earn that amount of money. Otherwise, you'll be kicked off the program in a second, and you'll probably get an overpayment letter, okay? So by default, as an SSDI beneficiary, your income must be below the threshold. Otherwise, you're not getting SSDI benefits, right? That's how the program is set up. Your income is very limited as an SSDI beneficiary. Therefore, your income is significantly below the threshold that they would have put in place. Again, probably 75 grand as an individual, 150 as a married couple is generally the threshold. Now, obviously, they can change that. It could be higher, it could be lower, but that's generally all that they look at. They don't come out and say, oh, you're going to get this if you're working. They never say that. Oh, you're going to get this if you file a tax return. Nope, they never say that either. Oh, you're going to get this only if you're able-bodied. No, that would be like highly illegal, I would imagine, for them to say that only people that are able-bodied could get this. Obviously, they never say that, but I would say like that would be like massively illegal for them to probably say something like that. I mean, I'm not really sure, but all I'm saying is that's like massive discrimination and they cannot do that whatsoever, okay? So for those of you out there that are worried that, oh my, I'm getting SSDI, I'm not going to be eligible for this, or I have a disability, or I'm a senior, or I'm living on fixed income, I'm not working, I'm not filing a tax return, I don't have an earned income, whatever the other concerns are that are out there, don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about any of it, okay? The only threshold that they ever put in place to determine somebody's eligibility across the board, a big, broad, brush stroke across, the entire country as far as determining eligibility is always based on income. That's it, okay? Now, obviously, there are some parameters that determine somebody's receipt of getting that payment. So what I mean by that is sometimes they'll have other parameters that say things like, if you owe back child support, it would be intercepted and that would be paid, in the form of back child support. Or in the event of you owe back taxes or you have a tax liability to the IRS, they're not going to give you money if you owe money to the IRS. If you have a liability to the IRS, they're not going to cut you a check. But that is a small percentage of people, especially SSDI or even Social Security beneficiaries. If you owe the IRS money, they're not going to give you money and then say, hey, now we've given you money, why don't you pay some of that back? No, that's not how it works. They would take that money and intercept it and then apply that to the amount of liability that you have to the IRS, so the overall amount would be less money that you would owe to them. Does that make sense? Okay. So anyway, this is what it's all about. So I've seen a lot of comments, a lot of concerns from people that are just very, very concerned that they're not going to get any money out of this payment if, again, I really want to reiterate, if it happens in the first place. Just look at your income. That's it, okay? That's all that they ever determine these things about, okay? But we're still waiting for a whole lot more information on this. Obviously, as we get any more details on this, I will continue to bring it to your attention as it hits the wire, as I've brought you many, many different clips over the last couple months here of the president speaking, lawmakers speaking, the Treasury Secretary, the press secretary, the economic advisors. I mean, all these people out there. I've had many clips talking about this and showing you what they're saying about this. But as we get more information, I will immediately bring it to your attention in these videos, okay? Anyway, I hope this helps to alleviate some of your concerns. Let's just hang tight. I know this is a slow process. I know you need the money immediately. But the only thing we can really do at this point is just, honestly, just kind of wait. That's all we can really do. And I know this is extremely annoying. And I know that you need the money like, years ago. I totally get that. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do to expedite this process other than just continue to wait and see what they continue to say and what happens from this whole thing, okay? Anyway, for those of you on SSDI, Social Security, SSI, things like that, again, it's all about your income. Is your income below the thresholds? That's all you really need to know. That's the only question you need to be asking, not all these other ones about everything that I've listed here in this video. as in working or not, able-bodied or not, filing a tax return or not, doesn't matter. It's never about any of that, okay? They know everything about you. They know your income. They know all of that. Doesn't matter. That's not what it's about, okay? Anyway, please don't worry about it. I'm going to continue to keep you posted as we get more information. If you have not done so, or if you're new here, please consider subscribing. 100% free. Big subscribe button down below. Please share the video. Big share button down below as well. Next to the subscribe button, do both of those. Otherwise, stay tuned and check out the well over 6,000 videos here on the channel in the video library. I'll continue to keep you posted. Stay tuned. A lot more things happening right now. Busy time right now, as it is every single year, every single day, every single week, every single month. Anyway, enjoy. I hope this helps you. Drop your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. And until next time, I'll catch you later in the next video. Hope this helps, and I'll see you later.